The meaning of life is meaning itself. This is a quote from Meher Baba, I think, a spiritual master that my parents have been following since I was a baby. And I remember asking question or, just being curious about what all the different spiritual books, practices, people, whatever, have to say about the meaning of life. Why was the universe created? And all of these different religions and spiritualities have different things to say about it. And I was never quite satisfied with any of the answers. They all seem so arbitrary. Like, what, but why, I mean, it would come down to, but if God is so perfect, then why, what would be the purpose of any of this? And when my mom told me about what Baba said, she thought I was not going to like it. She thought I was not going to be satisfied by it. And it was funny, but to me, it made sense. It was like, all right, no, that I can understand. It's just about giving it your own meaning. That's really what it's about. And that really sort of stuck with me. I was like, oh, well, it's just live your life. Whatever it is to you, that's what's important. Truly, the meaning of life is just to live it. We don't need some grand thing. But that's the thing, When we're steeped in these mental rules, in these concepts and shoulds and musts, and this is how it has to be, and this is what's right, and this is what's wrong, stuck in our minds, trying to figure it all out with the rational thought, it becomes something that is important because in some place of us, we realize there needs to be a reason for us to contort ourselves in the ways that we do, to be who we are not, to try to, sacrifice ourselves for the greater good. There needs to be some grand plan, or else why would you do it? Why would it be worth hurting yourself, contorting yourself, making yourself be who you are not? There is no, there really is no reason for it. But if we're going to do it, when we're doing it, we then need it. We need to give ourselves a reason to keep on forcing ourselves to be who we are not. But once you begin to just let go of that, once you begin to allow yourself to just be you, then it becomes less of a necessary thing to have some grand meaning, some grand purpose, and it becomes just about existing, just about experiencing this reality through the lens of you, through the filter of this personality that you have came and have formed, and through the filter of your energy, through the filter of you. That's really it. That is the purpose. To experience existence as you, and however it is that it feels good for you to move in it, through it, with it, as it, it's so much simpler than we want to try to make it be. And there's no grand reward for doing it right. The reward, quote unquote, is simply the enjoyment that you get while you're in it. It's so sad to me that we've built our lives seeking to live happily in the future. You know, we work hard today so that when we retire, we can have the enjoyment of the fruit of our labor, or, you know, and to me, that just doesn't make sense, because then once you get there, you've been denying yourself for so long that you've then lost all of the energy that you had. You've put yourself in this box. You've worn your body down. You haven't allowed your body to regenerate because you've been pushing it in ways that are not natural for it. And then you get to this point and it's like, you can't even enjoy it then because you're too old. You know, you've pushed your life to a future, and then once you get there, you can't even enjoy it. It's just kind of a miserable thing. I don't know. That's how I see the way that we've set up life. We try to work so that we can have a retirement, but what happens to the life that we were giving up in between? That's when our lives happen. How is it that we have come to this place where this is what we think life should be? Working towards some future promise of some future reward, of some future happiness, when really happiness exists in the experience of your day-to-day life. It's your experience of living that is the true, I don't even want to say reward, because it's not a reward. That's the true, that's the true, I can't even think of a word. Darn it. That's the true secret. That's the true reason for it all, is to just enjoy it as you go. I know it feels like a fairy tale, probably. It feels like something that's out of reach because there's so many rules around what we're supposed to do, and we've been so conditioned to believe it. We live in these mental boxes of what we are supposed to do and be and desire and all of that. And truly being able to live and enjoy the moment as you're living it comes from being able to be you in the moment and all that you feel, which sounds lovely when we say it like that. But what that also entails is feeling the stuff that we wish we didn't feel. It's feeling the anger. It's feeling the hatred. It's feeling the discomfort. It's feeling the not so nice things that we wish that we didn't feel. So even though it sounds pretty saying to be who you are and enjoy your life, it does require allowing yourself to go into these places that our minds have decided are not good to go. The truth is, we can go there and we can feel it, and it actually doesn't feel so bad. That's the big secret, actually. And it sounds crazy to say it, but the truth is, none of our feelings actually feel bad to allow ourselves to feel it. It is the resistance to the feeling that feels horrible. Going into and allowing yourself to experience the deepest pain and sadness actually feels good. because you're feeling the movement. You're allowing the movement of the energy to happen. It's not about enjoying pain. It's about not resisting a movement that is happening. It is the resistance to it that hurts. So once we allow ourselves to just embrace everything and allow it to exist, it can then move, it can pass through us. And that is not painful. That is actually a deeply satisfying thing, even though the emotions themselves are difficult. The experience of allowing ourselves to feel whatever it is actually quite a beautiful experience, a satisfying experience. And it's something that you just have to allow yourself to begin to feel in order to understand what I'm saying. I know that if you've never done it, it probably sounds quite crazy, cuckoo bananas, bonkers. Like, Natalie, stop talking nonsense. But I do not kid you. Even going to the darkest places, if you don't resist it, if you just allow it to be and don't try to make it into anything that it isn't, it is actually such a relief to just allow it to happen, to just feel it, allow the movement. It passes through you. It goes away in the end. Now, bringing this back to the meaning of life, which is where this conversation started in the first place. That is truly, in my opinion, the meaning of life. Just to have this existential experience within these bodies, to allow ourselves to experience the reality of being here with all of the emotions, with all of its color and tones and movements and all of that, which happens through our bodies. And I mean, yes, we have our minds, and the intellectual understanding of this experience is a part of the meaning of it too. However, we focus a little too much on the mental experience, which then pales the whole experience, which we then end up blocking certain parts of it with these rules and boxes and all that stuff I was talking about before. And we then restrict our experience. We hold these parts back. And then there's a feeling that there's something more to life than this. And that's because of the emotional, energetic body part of it, of the whole experience. When we block off parts of our emotional experience, the ones that we have mistakenly concluded are bad, are not good, we should not experience this, we have to protect ourselves against it because it's dangerous. The emotional experience. I mean, if there's true danger, that's a whole different story. But here we're talking about, our emotional part where we're looking at situations that are not truly dangerous, but feeling as though they are. That's, just got to throw that in every time I'm talking about something like this, just to be sure I'm not being misunderstood. So the true experience of life involves all of this. And that's why when we cut ourselves off from these different experiences, emotional experiences that we have, and we tell ourselves, no, this is bad, I cannot experience this, we then end up feeling like there's something missing from life. Because there is that experience, those emotions, that part of us that we have refused to feel. And then we seek to make up for it by looking for these mental concepts and constructs about what the meaning, this grand plan, this, I don't know, the oh my God, totally words are failing me here now. Sorry. We hang on to the mental constructs of some beautiful, out there, whatever meaning that justifies all of the ways in which we are cutting ourselves off from the parts of ourselves in order to explain away that feeling of there's something more. But when in truth, the more is just coming back to us. It's bringing our awareness back to our bodies, back to ourselves, back to everything we're experiencing. And of course, like I said, it's difficult when we've been not doing it. So it's a process that happens little by little. We bring ourselves back and slowly begin to feel safe in our bodies again, because so many of us don't feel safe in our bodies. And I totally understand that. And it is a process. But by beginning to do this, by beginning to heal this and accepting little by little, step by step, emotion by emotion, moment by moment, these little parts of ourselves, we can then become more and more whole. And then we can enjoy more and more the experience of living through everything in our lives. And we can take it as it comes, and we can then feel safe and secure within our center. And then we can truly embody and experience that meaning that is simply we give ourselves meaning. We give our lives meaning by the experiencing of it all. That is what I think of the meaning of life.